Hey, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. Now, a very nice guy named Corey, quite a while ago, has sent me two Blu-rays, one of Stephen King's Graveyard Shift and the other of this. I figure it's about time for me to review them, and figure it's the least I can do. He was very kind enough. He got them off my Amazon wish list. That was very generous. He didn't have to do that. This Graveyard Shift review will be coming sometime soon. Hopefully you'll enjoy that in this review. Again, Corey, if you're watching, thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate that. Now, this is the Scream Factory release of 13 Ghosts. Now, this is the artwork they made, which has the title characters, as we have the back here, with the green coloring. And then we have the theatrical poster, with interesting detail with the now orange coloring. Orange and green for Halloween, I guess. Because before I get into the Blu-ray to talk about the film itself, this was produced by Dark Castle. Dark Castle was a company created by people like Joel Silver, Robert Zemeckis, a guy named Gilbert Adler. They had worked on the Tales from the Crypt TV show, among other stuff. And they wanted to create this company to release movies that had a certain budget and were horror films, so they're released in theaters and to own Halloween. That's what they wanted to do, to own Halloween, and every year come out with this type of film. They did House on Haunted Hill, which I love. It's one of my favorite remakes. They did this one, which I do like. Then they did Ghost Ship, which I'm not a fan of. If you like it, that's cool. I would rather watch Death Ship than Ghost Shit. I'd rather watch a Ghost Shit than Ghost Ship. I'm not a fan. It has a good opening, and then the movie goes downhill after that. That's my opinion. And then, I think it was a Gothica. I think what happened with Gothica, one of the things that happened was, number one, it was a bad movie. Number two, Halle Berry broke her leg, and so they had to delay it, so they could not really get it released on Halloween or around that time, so the whole every year for Halloween, that kind of went out the window. And then they started releasing stuff. I think, was it Bull in the Head, Dark Castle? Or I think it was. Like, it seemed like after Gothic, they kind of abandoned the whole horror. Like Ghost Ship and Gothica really took the sales out of that whole thing. Just House on the Hill would be my favorite, but I do like this. I never saw the original William Castle movie. I love the set design in this. The cast, you got Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard and F. Murray Abraham. Shannon Elizabeth, for the small part that she played, she was fine. When the door was there, like the lawyer getting split in half, that was cool. When you saw the ghosts, really nice designs and makeup work. Howard Berger, the B and KMB helped work on the effects. It's one of those things where there's a lot for me to like about the film. The only reason I don't love it is I think there's a few issues with the writing and there's a few issues with the direction. I do think at times Steve Beck tried to do a bit too much of the pew 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 MTV. Like, some of it I was fine with, maybe because of the way the film is, and okay, maybe it works in that aspect, but sometimes I wish they would have lingered a bit more on the ghosts, and with so many ghosts, I think there should have been a point where it was an unrelenting movie, because you have 13 fucking ghosts, well technically 12, and even then, technically 11 of them are bad, because one of them, well, so technically it's 11 evil ghosts, so that should be like an unrelenting horde. But some of them, it's like they appear, and then they don't appear for like the rest of the movie, or it seemed like the torso appeared like one time. I don't remember seeing it again. This torso one, the kid, twice maybe. Like a month when the shit's hitting the fan, I should say. With the writing, there's a bit stuff that's a bit unclear. Like, how the fuck did F. Murray... The spoiler if you haven't seen the film. How the fuck did F. Murray Abraham fake his death? What, did he have a makeup kit? Just his junkyard, which is a really cool scene. Nice practical stunt work and set pieces. Some money was put into this. I appreciate that. Like I said, I love the sets. I really like Matthew Lillard. I'm a fan of Lillard. Tony Shalhoub worked well. You didn't get the star in too many films, let alone films like this. It went at a good pace. It's literally an hour and 30 minutes within credits. Literally an hour and 30. No shorter or longer than that. And like I said, it was fast-paced, fun film. It's just with the writing, I'm like, F. Murray Abraham, okay, all this shit's going on. What, he had a makeup kit? I'm going to lay down and put this fake glass. Like, how the hell did he do that? Did he just, I have this fake glass out of my ass. I got a makeup kit. Did he have someone put the makeup on him, run away? Another thing, what was the... Oh, fuck, I just had it. Oh, the family. This family at the beginning, they talk about how poor they are, If they're so fucking poor, how the hell do they afford a housekeeper, a nanny, which is Raw Digga? If they're so fucking poor, how do they afford her? Like, we have no money, the lawyers, they'll take more money. Maybe you shouldn't need a fucking nanny. You know, there's not many poor people I know that have fucking a maid nanny who's literally there to cook breakfast in the morning. Usually you'll maybe require a babysitter for an hour or so, not like a live-in nanny. I don't know, I thought that was a bit, like, stuff like that is a bit weird. I wish Matthew Lillard's character didn't die. Part of me wishes the film was from his point of view. I like Tony Shalhoub, but if the film was from his point of view and he became the hero, which he does do a heroic thing or two, but he does, but if it's like his point of view and it's about his he knew he screwed up in the past and this is his redemption story, fully focused on that, I probably would have liked it even more so. Because he's definitely my favorite character in the movie. But I do wonder if maybe you could have had it where maybe Shannon Elizabeth, oh my god, this is brand new house, let's invite a bunch of people while dad is away. And then there's this party, that way you get a big body count with all these ghosts taking care of all these guests. So that these ghosts get a lot more body count, gore, let the bodies hit the floor. So there's blood all on the glass. Part of me wonders if that would have been fun to have as well. Despite those critiques I have, I do enjoy the film. I do think it's good for a Halloween watch. Like I said, I thought the cast did their jobs well for what they had to be. The makeup effects are solid. The lawyer kill is pretty damn juicy. Like I said, Matthew Lillard's a lot of fun. It goes at a fast pace. Raw Digga, she did not annoy me. Like, sometimes when you put a person who's a rapper, it's not the best. She actually didn't bother me. She was not irritating. I thought she actually worked well off of Matthew Lillard. And it's a fun film. I'm glad to have it. I only had it on DVD, which was scratched up, so I'm glad to have it. Looks good on Blu-ray, which makes sense because it's a newer film. No issues I found of it. There's an older commentary with Steve Beck, production designer Sean Hargreaves, and special makeup effects artist Howard Berger. There's a new commentary with Steve Beck, moderated by Justin Beam. Pretty decent commentary. The interviews, you did a 10-minute interview with Shannon Elizabeth. Pretty much how she took an interview with Joel Silver because she was a fan of Xanadu, and how he was just groaning when she admitted that. How Steve Beck is a dream director and is very collaborative, as well as Tony Shalhoub. That Matthew Lillard was very sweet and funny. She talks about how the scene being pulled down the hole, and at one point the cameraman didn't have a good judge of where they were at, so he tumbled onto her. Not a bad interview. I think it's like 10 minutes long, so it's nothing earth-shattering, you'll find out, but not too shabby. There's another 15-minute interview with Matthew Harrison, which, to be blunt, I didn't really care, because I didn't know who the fuck this was in the first place. He's a guy that appears for like 20 seconds at the beginning of the film. In the junkyard, where you have Embeth Davidtz, and then you have the guy that's with her. And he's the guy that goes, you know, the 13th ghost. And then Matthew Lillard's like, 13 ghost? As they're talking to F. Murray Abraham. This is a guy that again had like 3 lines, and then a death, where Embeth Davidtz is holding him. To be blunt, I didn't give a fuck about what he went through, because he was such a non-existent guy that when it took me a full minute to find out like who the fuck is this guy, I'm like, they must be really desperate for interviews if they're going to get the guy that was in it for like 30 seconds. So maybe it's just me. Like, he talks about filming that scene, his death scene, Matthew Lillard, how Matthew Lillard would psych himself up. He didn't really have much to say, and weirdly enough, his interview was longer than Shannon Elizabeth, even though the guy had like 30 seconds of screen time. So I don't know. I mean, that wasn't for me. John DeSantis is the Juggernaut. He's the... Where is he on here? This guy with the big fucking hammer and such. Well, not the hammer, that's the other guy, but yeah, that's the Juggernaut. He, not the Juggernaut, but that's his name in it. About 13 minutes long. He talks about how he was in the military, how one of the reshoots was actually on 9/11, because this came out 2001. So in September they were still shooting or reshooting. I think one of the things they reshot was the very end where the ghosts actually come out of the house and go off to where the fuck. Because it just originally the ghost died in the house, but then they reshot and had a scene where they walk out. Which I don't know why. I mean, they're murderous ghosts. Were they set up for a sequel, or at the end they're all killers and murderers? You know, I thought they were, so like, well, to be fair, some of them, they died from horrible deaths, to be fair, so I guess that's why. So I take that back. Yeah, some of them were innocent. Especially like Tony Shalhoub's wife, she was innocent. So I mean, seems like a good guy. Not much I can say. Same with Herbert Duncanson, the Hammer. He's this guy here. His is like 6 minutes. What I got out of it was that the original guy who was supposed to play it didn't show up. He was supposed to be a stand-in. So like, hey, you want to play this guy? Okay. And he talks about working with this guy who played Juggernaut. How it was fun working with him. I didn't really know much to say. When I say 6 minutes, the thing with interviews like this is that, yeah, it's 6 minutes, but then of that 6 minutes, you got the opening, which show the title card of the interview, the end credits, footage from the film interspersed in there. So, I did just a handful of minutes. You had about 8-minute interview with the producer, Gilbert Adler. His was the most interesting, mainly because about how they formed Dark Castle, and that they were from Tales from the Crypt, and how they wanted to design to make a horror film for a price, and that each year, and that's where I heard the Gothica thing, that apparently Halle Berry broke her leg, and that screwed up the whole release it each year at Halloween. And seems proud of the film. He says all the films were hits. I'm like, were they? I thought Ghost Ship was a flop. I thought Gothica was a flop, but he says they were all hits. So, I guess he knows more than me. To be perfectly honest with the features, if you're going as for features, they're disappointing. I mean, I don't know. It just, am glad to have this because of the Blu-ray itself, because of the movie itself. It looks good on Blu-ray, looks good in HD, didn't have it on Blu-ray. I don't even know if this film was on Blu-ray before this. I don't know. It might not have been. I mean, either way, again, it looks good. And I guess, to me, I don't understand why no Matthew Lillard interview. It seems like he would do interviews for stuff like this, because he did one for Hackers. He's done interviews for Scream. So, either he was too busy, or he's just like, whatever, I don't know. I'm assuming they asked, to be fair, to Stream Factory. So, such as there's no Matthew Lillard interview. I guess Toy Shalhoub had nothing, didn't want anything to do talking about this, which is too bad. I thought he did a good job with it. Maybe the writers, Neil Marshall Stevens or Richard Dovidio, maybe that would have been interesting to hear from them. If there was any difference between their script and the finished product. I mean, I don't know, just... Like I said, there's about, like 5 interviews. Combined total, that's what, 10, 25, 35, 50, maybe an hour total. So, I mean, at least it's something. And there's a new commentary. It's one of those commentaries, the new one, where it's not scene specific. It's more like just an interview throughout the... Really, if you want scene specific, you go to the Steve Beck, the production designer, the older commentary. You also have a trailer, you have a feature from back in the day. I swear on the DVD there's a music video, and either I couldn't find it, or maybe I'm just flat out wrong. But I swear on the DVD there's a music video from the song that's in the movie. I forget who's saying it. It's like I can't remember the song. I remember liking that song. I swear there's a music video on there, the old DVD, but I couldn't find it on here. Maybe I just missed it. But yeah, for the Blu-ray itself, with the features, you don't really find anything that earth-shattering or that interesting, honestly. I mean, it's sad there's no Matthew Lillard. It's sad that would have been nice if you did maybe some of the, either a commentary where a bunch of people played the ghosts, or Matthew Lillard, Shannon Elizabeth, and them on the commentary. Maybe that would have been more interesting to me. I would say, if you like the film, you want the film on Blu-ray, sure. I guess the best I've seen the film look. But, yeah, I wouldn't say that features maybe cream in my pants. It wasn't that type of thing. So it is what it is. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.